Welcome back to the deep dive.
It's great to be back.
We are diving into AI today. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because there is this disconnect. You see all this money pouring into AI.
Right.
That Coastal survey, it said something like 67% of companies are either increasing or maintaining their spending on AI.
Yeah, I saw that.
But when you look at the results, it's only like 21% of companies are reporting actual proven outcomes.
It is fascinating, isn't it? You have this massive investment, but
Yeah.
the payoff isn't quite there yet for most.
Yeah. And for you, the learner who wants to keep up with this world, our mission today is to figure out what's really going on with AI. Like, how do we make sense of this investment versus results thing? To do that, we've got a whole bunch of sources, news articles, research reports, just stuff to give us a clear picture.
Sounds good.
So we'll be looking at new AI models, the infrastructure to make them work, and where they're being used in the real world.
Oh, and of course we have to talk about the ethical stuff too,
I
right?
absolutely can't ignore that.
Yeah.
So, ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start with the heart of AI. The models themselves. Feels like every day there's a new announcement, a new breakthrough. It's kind of hard to keep up.
It really is. The speed of innovation is incredible. Just look at Meta.
Oh yeah, with Llama 4.
Exactly. Llama 4. And it's not just one model, it's a whole family.
A family of LLMs.
Yeah. You've got Llama 4 Scout, which is 109 billion parameters, and a 10 million token context window.
10 million. Wow.
That's a huge working memory for the AI. It can consider so much information.
That's got to help with the responses, right? Makes them more coherent.
Absolutely. More nuanced, too.
Makes sense. So what else is in this Llama family?
Well, there's Llama 4 Maverick, which is even bigger, 400 billion parameters.
Okay, going big.
And then there's the rumored Llama 4 Behemoth.
Behemoth. That sounds intense.
Oh, it is. This one is rumored to have 2 trillion parameters.
2 trillion. Are you serious?
That's the word on the street. And the really interesting thing is, these Llama 4 models, they're trained on all sorts of data, not just text.
Really? Like what?
Images, videos, the whole shebang, they're multimodal,
Multimodal. So they're not just reading, they're like seeing and hearing too.
In a way, yes. They can understand different types of information together, not just separate pieces.
That's pretty amazing.
And it's not just about making them bigger, it's about making them smarter, too. Mark Zuckerberg even hinted at a Llama 4 reasoning model.
Reasoning. So
Yeah.
like problem solving.
Exactly. He said we might hear more about it within the next month.
Wow, it feels like things are moving so fast. So how's OpenAI responding to all this? The folks behind ChatGPT.
They're not standing still, that's for sure. They're working on their own reasoning models, O3 and O4 Mini.
Okay, so more reasoning models. What's the difference?
Well, these are supposed to be released very soon in the next few weeks.
Oh, so they're trying to get ahead of Meta?
It seems that way, doesn't it? And then, of
Yeah.
course, there's GPT-5.
Everyone's waiting for GPT-5.
I know, right? The anticipation is huge. Apparently, it's performing even better than they expected.
I'm kidding.
But the release date has been pushed back. It was supposed to be soon, but now it's more like a few months.
That's a bummer. But I guess it makes sense to make sure it's ready.
Yeah. And they've also changed their strategy with the reasoning models a bit.
So it's a real race between OpenAI and Meta, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They're both pushing the limits of what AI can do.
It's really exciting to watch.
Mm.
But it's not just the big names, right? What about Midjourney?
Oh, yeah, Midjourney. They just released an alpha version of V7.
V7 already. That was fast. What's new?
Better prompt understanding, higher quality images, and get this, a draft mode.
Draft mode.
Interesting.
It's cheaper and faster. Perfect for trying out ideas.
So they're making it easier to experiment.
Exactly. They're streamlining the creative process.
I like that. Oh, and what about Google? They always have something interesting going on.
They do. They've got this AI called Dreamer. It's learning self-improvement by playing Minecraft.
Minecraft. That's pretty cool.
Right. It's this complex world where the AI has to figure things out, adapt, learn. It's fascinating. It really is. It makes you wonder what other ways AI can learn. So we've got these amazing models, but they need somewhere to run. Right.
You're talking about the infrastructure.
Exactly. All
Yeah.
those GPUs and data centers, that stuff's got to be expensive.
It is. But things are changing. Jeff Hinkle, the CEO of Ironstream, he thinks GPU as a service could be a game changer.
GPU as a service, like
Yeah.
renting GPUs.
Yeah, basically. It makes them more accessible, especially for startups who can't afford to buy them outright.
That makes sense. It levels the playing field.
Exactly. And we're already seeing the impact of all this demand. Han Hai, one of NVIDIA's partners, their sales jumped 24%.
Wow. 24%. That's huge.
Yeah, and they said it's all thanks to data center demand. People need that computing power.
So the AI boom is real.
Oh, yeah. And Meta's not messing around either. They're building this massive data center in Wisconsin. Almost $1 billion.
A billion. They're serious about this AI stuff.
They are. They're building for the future, for even more demanding AI applications.
That's mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not all about giant data centers, right?
You're right. There's the consumer side, too. NVIDIA is rumored to be launching the RTX 5060 Ti soon.
Ooh, gamers are going to love that.
I know, right? And even Chromebooks are getting an AI boost.
Chromebooks,
Yeah.
seriously.
Seriously. MediaTek's new Companion Ultra chip has a dedicated neural processing unit, 50 TOPS.
TOPS.
Tera operations per second. It's a measure of processing power. Basically, Chromebooks are getting AI hardware.
So AI is going mainstream even in our everyday devices?
Exactly. It's becoming more integrated, more accessible.
So we've got the models, the hardware. What about real-world applications? Where's AI actually being used?
Oh man, that's a huge topic. The possibilities are endless.
Like, give me some examples.
Okay, how about communication? Imagine real-time translation that actually works.
That would be amazing.
Right, no more language barriers. Language I/O did a report and found that 54% of leaders see this as a top need for AI.
Makes sense. That could change everything, from business to diplomacy to just connecting with people.
Totally. And then there's healthcare. Imagine AI helping to detect cancer earlier.
Wow, that could save so many lives.
It could. The NHS is looking at accelerating the rollout of AI for cancer screening.
That's great news. Although it sounds like there have been some delays.
Yeah, they're being really thorough with the evaluation process.
Which makes sense. You don't want to rush something like that.
Exactly. Safety and accuracy are paramount.
Absolutely. But it's exciting to think about the potential.
It is. And then there are smaller, everyday applications.
Like what?
Well, Kindle has a new AI recap feature.
Recap? What's that?
It helps you catch up on book series, if you forget what happened in the last book.
Oh, that's actually really useful.
Right. It's all about enhancing the user experience.
I like it. What else?
Well, there's Gemini Pro 2.5. It's doing really well in coding tests.
So another competitor for ChatGPT.
It looks that way. The AI coding space is heating up.
It's fascinating to see how these models stack up against each other. And speaking of competition, what's Microsoft been up to?
They just did something really cool. They recreated Quake 2 using their Muse AI.
Wait, they made a game with AI?
Yeah, and you can play it in your browser.
That's insane. Is it any good?
You should check it out. It's part of their push for AI in gaming.
Wow. AI is everywhere. From coding to gaming, it's changing everything.
It is. And we're also hearing more about AI PCs.
AI PC, so computers specifically designed for AI.
Kind of. They have more powerful hardware, dedicated processors, that sort of thing.
So like having a mini data center on your desk.
In a way, yeah. And businesses are starting to pay attention. They're adapting their tech strategies.
I bet. It's like having a superpowered computer.
It is. And it's not just about processing power. Even the fashion industry is getting in on the action.
Really? How so?
H&M, the clothing brand, they're using AI clones for models in their marketing campaigns.
AI clones, like virtual model.
Exactly. It raises some interesting questions about the future of modeling and advertising.
It does. It makes you wonder what other industries will be impacted.
Right. It's just the beginning. And then you have education. Tamil Nadu in India is going all in on AI education.
Really? How so?
They're integrating AI, coding, and digital simulations into the curriculum for students in grades 6 through 9.
Wow, they're starting young.
They are. They want to prepare their students for an AI-driven future.
That's pretty forward-thinking. So we've seen the models, the hardware, the applications. What about the tools to build all this?
Oh, there's a ton of stuff happening there. More and more tools are becoming available, making it easier for people to develop AI applications.
That's good. It's got to be more accessible if we want to see real innovation.
Exactly. There's a great YouTube tutorial on building an AI document processing pipeline using something called RAG.
RAG. What's that?
Retrieval Augmented Generation. It's a way for AI to access external information to give better answers.
Ah, so it's not just limited to what it's been trained on.
Right. It can learn and adapt.
That's cool. What else is out there?
Well, there are a lot of open source voice-first AI projects popping up.
Voice first, so like talking to your computer instead of typing?
Exactly. It could change how we interact with technology.
I could see that. And it would make things more accessible for people who have difficulty typing.
Exactly. And even the tools that developers already use are getting smarter.
Like what?
VS Code, the code editor, has a new version with a much more integrated Copilot chat AI.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Copilot. It can write code for you, right?
It can, And the new version has an agent mode that can supposedly do some coding tasks on its own.
Wow, so it's like having an AI assistant programmer.
Kind of. It's getting closer to that.
That's crazy. What about platforms for running these big language models?
Well, there's AI Bricks. It's an open source LLM inference platform.
LLM inference platform.
It's the infrastructure needed to run those massive models and get them to generate text or code.
So it's like the backbone of these AI systems.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about NVIDIA? What are they up to besides making GPUs?
They've released Agent IQ, an open source library for managing teams of AI agents.
Teams of agents. That sounds complex.
It is. It's about coordinating multiple AIs to work together.
Wow, so like a hive mind.
Kind of. And they've also released Hover.
Hover. What's that?
It's an AI designed to control humanoid robots.
So we're talking about actual robots, not just software.
Yeah, physical robots that can move and interact with the world. It's pretty cool.
It is. It's like something out of science fiction.
I know, right? And then you have these more general purpose AI agents like GenSpark Super Agent.
What's that?
It's designed to handle a bunch of everyday tasks, like scheduling appointments or making reservations.
Like a personal assistant AI.
Exactly. And for software engineers, there's Augment SWE Bench Verified Agent.
What a mouthful.
I know, right? But it's a cool tool. It combines different AI models to help with software engineering tasks.
So even building software is getting an AI boost.
It is. And if you're feeling really ambitious, there's a code implementation out there for building a context-aware AI assistant.
So you can build your own AI.
Yeah, if you're comfortable with coding, it uses tools like Google Colab, LangChain, Gemini Pro.
That sounds pretty advanced.
It is. But it shows how accessible AI development is becoming. There are so many resources available.
That's encouraging. And what about making these AI models more understandable?
There's a lot of research going on there. A paper came out recently about a new strategy for improving AI interpretability.
Interpretability. So like making it clear how the AI is making decisions.
Exactly. It's about transparency and trust.
Makes sense. You don't want a black box making important choices.
Right. And there's even a tutorial on building AI Q&A bots for websites using open source models.
So you could have an AI answer questions on your website.
You could. It's all about making AI more practical and usable.
I like that. Oh, and we can't forget about security.
You're right. Cloudflare just had their security week, and they made some announcements about AI security.
Like what?
Things like AI Labyrinth, a tool to help detect and mitigate AI-powered attacks.
So as AI gets more powerful, people are thinking about how to protect against misuse.
Absolutely. It's a critical consideration.
It really is. So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about models, hardware, applications, tools. But what about the bigger picture? How is all of this impacting the way we work and create?
It's a huge question. There's this idea that AI isn't coming for our jobs, but AI natives will...
AI natives, what does that mean?
People who are comfortable using AI tools, who can leverage them effectively, they'll have an advantage.
So it's not about being replaced, it's about adapting.
Exactly. It's about learning new skills, embracing the technology.
Makes sense. And it raises questions about our values as a society. If AI can automate so much, what does that mean for us?
It's a big conversation. One viewpoint is that we need to shift our values to ensure that automation leads to more freedom and opportunity.
So like using AI to create a better world, not just to increase profits.
Yeah, something like that. It's about thinking beyond the purely economic implications.
That's important. And what about AI in government?
There's an interesting argument that ChatGPT might be a terrible tool for government ministers.
Really? Why is that?
Because it's trained on past data. It's good at reflecting what's already happened, not at predicting the future.
Ah, so it's not good at strategic thinking and envisioning new possibilities.
Exactly. It's a limitation of current AI, at least.
Interesting. So what should we be doing instead?
Well, there's this new mantra in the AI world, don't repeat yourself.
Don't repeat yourself. I like that.
The idea is that AI can handle all those repetitive tasks, freeing up humans to be more creative and strategic.
So it's about augmenting our abilities, not replacing them.
Exactly. It's about working together with AI to achieve more.
And speaking of creativity, AI is already creating art that's almost indistinguishable from human art.
It is. It's making us rethink what creativity means.
Right. If an AI can make beautiful art, what does that say about human creativity?
It's a question we're still grappling with.
It is. It's a fascinating time to be alive, and venture capitalists are definitely taking notice.
Oh, yeah. Kirsten Green, the founder of Forerunner Ventures, she said that AI has opened up a whole new era in venture capital.
So they see a lot of potential for growth and disruption.
Absolutely. They're betting big on AI.
It's clear that AI is a game changer. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, is it?
There are definitely challenges and concerns.
We've touched on the ethical stuff, but what else?
Well, for starters, there's skepticism about some of the big investments being made, like Apple's rumored billion-dollar deal with NVIDIA.
Yes, some analysts aren't convinced it's a smart move.
It just shows that there's still a lot of uncertainty in the AI space.
Makes sense. It's a rapidly evolving field.
It is. And on a more practical level, there's the issue of storing AI prompts.
What do you mean?
Apparently, if you're not careful about where you store them, it can lead to unexpected chatbot behavior.
So like your chatbot might start saying things you don't want it to say.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we need to be thoughtful about how we use these tools.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what about companies trying to adopt AI?
There's advice out there that you need to be careful about how you pitch AI, especially in industries that are more manual labor focused.
So don't go in saying AI is going to replace all your jobs.
Exactly. You need to emphasize how AI can augment human capabilities, not just automate them away.
It's about collaboration, not replacement.
Right. It's about finding ways for humans and AI to work together effectively.
Makes sense. And what about the drama with OpenAI and Sam Altman?
Yeah, that was a wild ride. Getting fired and then rehired within a week.
It was crazy. But it seems like it was more than just a personality clash.
Oh, yeah. It was about power, about different visions for the future of AI.
So there are some real tensions within the AI community about how to proceed.
Absolutely. It's a high-stakes game.
And let's not forget about the cost of all this.
You're right. AI is expensive. Everyone's looking for cheaper ways to train and deploy these models.
That makes sense. It's a real barrier to entry for many.
It is. But there's a lot of research and development going into making AI more affordable.
So where does all of this leave us?
Well, we started this deep dive by talking about this paradox. Massive investment in AI, but not a lot of proven results yet.
It's like everyone knows AI is important, but we're still figuring out how to make it work.
Exactly. We're in this exciting but uncertain phase.
But there's a lot of progress being made. New models, new infrastructure, new applications.
Absolutely. And new ethical and societal considerations to grapple with.
Right. It's not just about the technology, it's about the impact it has on our lives.
And for you, the learner, we hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of the key trends and issues in AI.
We've tried to make it digestible, to cut through the jargon and give you a clear picture of what's happening.
It's a complex field, but it's one that everyone should be paying attention to.
So, here's a final thought for you to consider. Given how fast AI is developing, especially in terms of reasoning, how do we ensure that these powerful systems remain transparent and trustworthy?
It's a question that will only become more urgent as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
It's a question worth pondering, and hopefully this deep dive has given you some food for thought.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening.